Hello and welcome to episode 49 of our Timberborn Update 5 Waterbeaver playthrough in cycle 59, day 8. We got a mess on our hands. We have an absolute disaster zone of poorly employed beavers and messy storage and pathways and buildings and all sorts of garbage. So, probably at some point should address that and attempt to fix things. So we're going to do a little bit of that today and address some of the other issues that have cropped up as a result of that. And a couple of you have caught things that I've done, or not done in some cases, and have offered some very helpful advice on ways to possibly fix it. We're going to address a little bit. Can't get to everything, unfortunately, but I do always read the comments, so if you've sent something, I've seen it. Just is going to depend on what we're actually able to do in terms of whose comments I can get to. But I think a big problem that we've had is I have been deleting pumps that also serve as houses. We have a lot fewer beavers than we used to, in addition to continually having a whole lot of incapacitated beavers. So we need to build more beaver housing. And that can come in conjunction, if we choose to do so, with increasing the height of the dam back here. But, as a couple of you pointed out, we really don't need to, because now we're not pumping any water at all out of this area for consumption. We are just getting water out of the ground with our aquifer pumps. We have 5 of these right now, and we probably should be building more, but our water needs right now are taken care of, so I haven't been super inclined to worry about that. But we did remove a whole lot of housing for beavers, so I think what's going to have to happen is we're going to need to take a pretty severe look at relocating some beavers into a more central location, and that's kind of what we had done here with our pit and ladder lodges with builders and haulers in them. But we can't just keep building a whole bunch of these things because, well, they're either builders or haulers, and we create jobs as much as we create housing for beavers. Well, okay, 50% as much, because it's 3 jobs and 6 inhabitants, but there's a lot of stuff that we still have not gotten into, and we need to make sure that we're optimizing as much as we can, or as much as I can manage. Not necessarily meaning that that's the best way to optimize, it's just the best way I can think of to optimize. So, other things we can do is we can increase inhabitants and not increase jobs as quickly by building either this thing, pit and ladder lodge, hauler and box storage, or hauler and liquid storage as well. This is a 2-story item, and like the name implies, it either has... Oh, actually, that one is... Wait a second, it's going to let me do that? Well, that's kind of a weird-looking thing. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. But I think it would be smart of us to put in maybe 2 of these things, because they have liquid storage. And for some reason I don't have to research this. But this only has 1 employee, but it has 6 slots. And people have been saying, hey, build some big lemonade storage. Well, why don't I put lemonade storage in the housing and free up some floor space, ground space? So that's what we'll do. We'll have 2 of these that hold 300 lemonade apiece. These hold 300 lemonade, but they're on the ground and they take up space we could use to grow crops. So, if we start building additional housing here, then that's something we can get ourselves into quite nicely. But I can hear you say, if you do that, then you're not going to be able to put anything on top of this. Well, not really. That's not entirely true. And we have a bunch of different stuff that we can get to if we so choose. What we've done traditionally is we've just butted these up against these doorways here, and these don't have doorways here. But don't forget, we have ladders now, so we can just build up if we have to anyway. And we're getting pretty close to the top of this hill. There's so much lag anytime I click on something. But we have storage here for a bunch of stuff. Chestnuts, pumpkin chips, rice balls, metal fasteners. Can't eat those. Well, I guess you could if you really tried hard enough, but brain-boosting salts and berries here. So there's not really a huge need for more storage in this exact spot, so I'm not going to build anything else right now. But the idea is, with most of this stuff, Just kind of condense things where we can condense them and just do some common sense improvements. Increase the capacity for beaver storage and food and water storage. Of course, this takes pine resin, which I know we don't currently have enough of, but we will get there. We planted these trees last time. We probably need to plant more. But don't forget, if we're getting pine resin from them, they have to have a tapper shack or tapper's flags or whatever. But the tapper shack is a better thing to be doing because it will employ 4 and it has bonuses, which is always good. A couple people were like, hey, why'd you get rid of the lemon trees? Well, in case you haven't noticed, our lemonade storage is completely full. And we have basically completely full storage of lemons that cannot be processed, and there's lemons on the trees that we can't harvest. So I'm not really going to be concerned about getting rid of a few lemons, or lemon trees rather, because we clearly have other things we should be prioritizing. Our rice situation has also kind of stabilized, although it probably should be making more. Just another one of those things we haven't really fully stabilized yet, so we don't know exactly what is going to be the correct amount for us to have. It's stabilized for the most part, but at this point I'm not willing to say for sure until it's been several cycles and it's stayed about that number. And since we're adding more beavers, it's probably not going to stay that way at all. So, stuff like that. Different things to fix and improve. Slowly start weaning them off of these farmhouses as well. And we can use this land for other purposes and take care of other things. Now, people have also said, hey, you don't need these mushroom growers anymore. And you would be correct, kind of. Remember, the GMO growing lab, only one... Okay, 2 of these are making mushrooms. I was going to have another one make bramble flowers, but that ended up not being necessary. So 2 of these are making mushrooms. Every 18 hours, assuming everything is supplied, and they have somewhere to put the mushrooms. It's going to make 75 mushrooms times 2, so every 18 hours you get 150 mushrooms. These guys, every hour, make 1 mushroom. And one of these was set to the long version, which was every 3 days, 8 hours, 40 mushrooms. Currently, we have 7,000 mushrooms, so, you know, we don't need these. So those are all going to go away. And now we have all this space here. We can put some other stuff on if we so choose. Could be a decent spot, depending on how we have this organized, could be a decent spot to start putting the gigantic storages, so on and so forth. We got options, got ways to make this work. Assuming we can actually build these on top of a platform like this, that would possibly be a good way to do it. So right now, underneath this is just entirely water that we really don't care about having access to. So that might be a good idea. We've got these chestnut trees planted to get us more chestnuts, which again we're not using all of at this exact moment in time, but there might come a day when we need those, so just going to leave that as it is. We have storage for sawdust right here because we need sawdust to grow the mushrooms. Removing mushroom production probably is going to lower our mushroom reserves a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Now you will notice most of the mushroom storage, I say pointing at the screen with my finger and expecting you to be able to tell, which is not how that works. Most of the mushroom storage is in, 90% of it actually is in the buildings themselves. These store 3,000 apiece. So I think we're okay right now on mushrooms. The cooking tents that are making the braised cabbage are probably no longer in the best spot because the cabbages are no longer being made down here. Originally, this was all cabbage, and there's some right over in this quarter, but now the cabbages are being produced up here. And they also need logs, and they need mushrooms, which is, the mushrooms are here, which is fine. But I think these can be moved somewhere else, or we can take a look at the other cooking buildings and see if there's a better way to optimize those. Now, the cooking house, of course, does not make braised cabbage. That's only the cooking tent. Unless there's another thing I've completely forgotten about. But so we know we have to keep that in the cooking tent. But stuff like Fried rice should always be in the mechanized kitchen house or the cooking house or what have you. Cereal bars, which I had previously been making in the cooking tent, can also be made in the cooking house. And actually use half as much pine resin, which would be very, very good for us. And it's actually a lot faster too. It's 1 hour, you make 22 of them versus 2.5 hours to make 15. So the cooking house, which does not have to be powered, can go anywhere, is going to end up replacing the cooking tent for the cereal bars. Which, right now, this one's making cereal bars. It really doesn't need to be. We have materials to build more pumpkin... It's not a structure. To make more pumpkin chips. But right now, we just have this one doing it, and it's out of sunflower oil, which is funny because we have almost 1,000 of that. Different things are prioritized. Some poorly, some not poorly. That's just the way it goes. But one of the best things that we can do right now is to make a cooking house for the cereal bars, because that is going to be something that not only will feed the beavers, but is an essential component of abyss exploration. And we've been wanting to put more stuff up here anyway. We have bramble flowers and all sorts of other things here. The cooking house, to make cereal bars, requires rice, berries, sunflower seeds, chestnuts, pine resin, water, and logs, which almost none of that is being made up here. So probably don't want to have it super far away from everything else, but we can, at the very least, not have it down here where there's definitely none of that going on. So I think cooking house in this general area would make sense. And the way that this is laid out, I did not do myself any favors, because this is a 2x3? Yeah. I can't really fit this in here. I can put it on the back of this thing, but I hate this in the way. The power shaft's in the way, so I can't really take advantage of that. So what's probably going to happen is more and more of this is going to get turned into not farmland. What do we have a whole lot of here? We have, okay, we got 1,300 cabbages and a whole bunch of these green peas. So, you know what? Based on that and everything else that we've been making, I'm going to go ahead and say it's time to retire this entire farm up here, with the exception of the sunflower seeds. So I will go ahead and unmark all of that, and then all of these that are, whatever these are called, green peas. And that's going to free up a lot of land for us to grow either other crops or plant more berries or something to that effect, and allow us to expand our little industrialization efforts up here. And I don't know... I mean, I don't have enough room here anyway to go... Wait, yes I do. I have exactly enough room to put another stack next to this. So, never mind. I'm not going to build something here. I'll build it across this way. But yeah, we're just going to unplant this. Cabbages-wise, I mean, we're not using it, so this is probably okay to get rid of as well. These aren't even harvested. I don't have room to harvest them. This also no longer needs to be cabbage. Get removed. Probably for the time being, we'll keep these sunflowers. Maybe I'll just transition everything down here to sunflowers. Probably would not be a bad choice with everything else we have going on here. That bramble flower storage does not need to be over here because we're no longer gathering them here, except there's this one, for some reason, is just chilling here. But for right now, we'll add a little bit of that. And then I know for sure I can get rid of this set of 3 right here. And if we're feeling nasty, we might be able to get another stack of these mechanized thingies. Because that's definitely the correct term. Get those mechanized things down here. Build another stack of ladders and power shafts and all that garbage. But that's a long-term thing. Remember, we're trying to make improvements to optimize how stuff is going. And this will remove some of these jobs that don't need to exist. Remember that these don't actually employ anybody. They just work. But they also need to be prioritized so that the logs can actually get put in. And I need to make sure that all of these are set. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, those are good. So let's go into triple speed. I didn't put it in triple speed until now. One, because I forgot, and two, because it also lags a lot. And it's annoying when I'm trying to move the camera around and go look at different stuff, because then it's like, oh, I'm going to go in super slow mode. And I say, no, please don't go in super slow mode. And then it says, I'm going to do it anyway. And then nobody has a good time. But that is fine. Another option that we can do, if we feel so inclined, is we can plant pine trees up here in at least a portion of this area and just harvest the resin from them, kind of like we've done over here. But remember, these are going to take some time to grow up and then also start giving us resin. We need a lot more than the ones we've planted. We really do. That's not going to cut it. But it is an improvement, and that's what this is all about. Of course, we're still waiting on 30 there, 30 there. Everything else we have. We're just waiting. So that is what it is. Until then, we're not going to mess with any of this lemonade stuff. But something people left in the comments that I thought was a smart idea. Well, a lot of the stuff you guys post I think is a smart idea. Go around and look at every workplace and check and see which ones can work without workers, function without workers, and then, if they can, deprioritize them. Which I'm pretty sure Alchemists don't, Architects Lodges don't, Artist Lodge, Assembly Line does require workers, and it's making grape juice, so that's fine. Badwater Bucketing Post, well, that's just a disaster zone. We're going to have to figure that out separately later. Balloon Trader Landing Pads, again, they can't be prioritized. They just work. So that's fine. Clay pits, of course, have to have beavers working there. The clinic has to have beavers working there. The cooking house has to have beavers working there. The cooking tent can function without workers, but it has to have the stuff brought to it. So seeing how things are right now, I'm going to deprioritize. These are all marked. Well, now they're all marked for hauling. But I'm going to deprioritize the cooking tents. Unless the lag prevents me from doing so. Copy sludge, we don't care about deep water pump. We actually shouldn't really have any more of these, but the reason I left this in here is because it was going to flood everything. But we may end up just removing this dam altogether and planting a bunch of trees. This would actually be a good spot for pines. But let's keep that in mind as we keep going down here. Distilleries cannot function without workers. Elevator to the Abyss, no. Factory, no. Assistant farmers are literally just workers to help with farming. Most of these are probably going to go away, with the exception of, okay, drag the wrong direction. Like areas like right here where we can't mechanize this. Most of the farms down here are going to eventually go away. Farmhouses, we know those have to have workers. Fermentation houses can function without workers. They just have to be stocked. So let's prioritize by haulers. I know it's going to drive some of you insane, but look. The debate continues. Nobody has the answer for it. Plenty of different opinions and plenty of different things that honestly might not even make a difference, but that's fine. We're trying to apply workers to the hauling jobs, which is why the whole reason why we're doing this. Fluid dumps can function without workers as long as they have stuff brought to them, but these really don't even need to be working. We really don't need these at all. This is just a thing that I had put in here to help the lotuses, you know, not dry out. So those can automatically get deprioritized. Forester obviously needs workers. Hauling upgrade, that's the whole point, is to have workers. District center, whole point is to have workers. This can function without workers, and there's 2 of them in here. They just have to have the stuff in, and we're full of mushrooms anyway, so at least the 2 that are making mushrooms I'm going to deprioritize. The one making berries, I think we're going to keep those in there just because we need berries. Gather flags, obviously not. Giant sequoia filler, obviously not. Gristmill cannot function without workers. Handicrafter's Lodge, obviously not. Harvester's Office, obviously not. Hauling Tower. There's still nobody working here, but I'm going to regular priority the Hauling Tower now, so it can fill up eventually when we get there. The Irrigation Lodge can function without workers. It just has to have water in it. So, yet more buildings prioritized by haulers that may or may not actually actually get stuff brought to them. But we're making progress. We're doing our best. Large farmhouses, obviously not. Lemonade stands, obviously not. But we probably don't need to have 4 of these. I mean, they're not drinking the lemonade that much. So, let's see. I got 2 there. And then I got 2 over here. Honestly, I'm going to leave these alone for right now. The lodge, the worker is a hauler, and this is literally just here to, I think, to hold water in. So I'm not going to worry about that, but I can deprioritize it. That's fine. It's not the same as pausing it, it's just deprioritized. Log gnawing stations, the entire reason these exist is to make screw press axles, which, technically, assuming stuff works correctly, we can make over here, but I'm not going to get rid of those quite yet. Lumberjack flags, very obviously not. Lumberjack's barn, obviously not. Mechanics lodges, obviously not. Just wanted to check and see. These are all making gears. We can also automate the gears at some point. Mechanized kitchen house, they're all making fried rice. Why is only one of these prioritized? I'm actually going to deprioritize this by haulers and the mechanics lodges. We don't need everything to be prioritized, and we have a lot of gears. We might have less gears, fewer gears, whatever quantity indicator of gears than we need, but I think we're fine. Mines, obviously not. Multi-purpose outdoor workspace, we have 8 workers. And it's only sawdust and water, and both of those things are easily accessible. So I'm going to deprioritize this mushroom grower. These are both making the bad water mushrooms. Brain-stimulating mushrooms. I'm going to have to check and see if that recipe is available anywhere else. But for right now, we aren't really using all of them, so we might be able to reduce this at some point later. Paper mill is doing paper mill things. Yeah. It needs pine resin. That's a different problem. Pass-through lodges we've used as part of dams that we honestly don't need anymore. The only reason we're doing this one is to keep the water high enough to do this water cannon, which we could put somewhere else. I would just have to maybe reconfigure stuff. Right now, this can stay. This pass-through lodge, if we remove this dam, this one and this pass-through lodge do not need to be here. They can go away. This one is part of an essential dam. This one's part of an essential dam. And this one, like I said before, is going to go away. Pit and ladder lodges, builders' towers. We probably don't need to have so many builders, because we're not really doing huge projects right now. We definitely don't need to have like all of these prioritized over haulers. So I think what I'm going to do is every other one of these I will deprioritize. Haulers I will not deprioritize because those are right now a little bit more important. Primitive ironworks, obviously that's an important building, but this one is full of saw blades. We need to have more storage for the crude saw blades. Then metal fasteners, and then tools. All of this stuff needs to be made in larger quantities, which we are currently trying to accomplish. Primitive mines. Probably should just leave these alone. The smelters, we already know that this is a thing. It can function without workers, it just has to be hauler enabled. So, click, thank you, deprioritize it is. Rudimentary sawmill. This really doesn't need to exist because we have the advanced sawmill. We have the giant sequoias. So this is actually a really bad place to have a sawmill. I just put it over here because I had to have somewhere to put it before we could get to the top of the cliffs. This can probably be deprioritized pretty safely. Scavenger flags are scavenger flags, that's fine. Screw presses are screw presses. It needs somebody to operate the press. Bad water pumps are bad water pumps. The solar arrays, need to have the beavers in to actually make power. So we can't do anything with those. Super fertilizing irrigation tower baths can function without workers. We got a drought coming in. Good. We have plenty of water. We are prepared. So that's fine. Supplementary expedition team, tall and narrow lodge. I already have this deprioritized. This is just part of a dam. It's probably going to go away. Tapper shack is a tapper shack. The trebuchets obviously need to have somebody to operate the trebuchet. Tree nurseries are tree nurseries. This is part of a dam that technically doesn't need to be here, but I'm going to leave alone. That is part of a dam. That is part of a dam. That is part of a dam. 2-story watertight lodges. Part of a dam that probably doesn't need to exist, and also part of a dam that probably doesn't need to exist. But we're going to leave it alone. Wood burner can function without workers, so guess what? Now it is. Nope, wrong building. This one. And then, of course, the ENS is the ENS. So, all of that being said, what has that netted us here? 50 workers on the hauling tower. And none are unemployed because we did not close buildings. We simply deprioritized them. So hopefully that has done some sort of measurable good for, well, everything. And we're going to take a look. Yeah, see? Even after unplanting all of this cabbage, it's still on the ground, which says to me that we did the right thing. Even if it's not, you know, the perfect thing, we did a correct thing, which is nice. And now we're in a drought, and this is going to stop turning. We are hemorrhaging gravity battery power, but do not fear. Solar arrays are here, and that's going to be hopefully a big help. I don't know how we're making power on a solar array at night, unless it's not a solar array. No, that's actually the wheels over there. Never mind. I was about to say that's not how that works. Unless the beavers have some sort of... Oh, God, the annoying pinball sounds again. Unless the beavers have some sort of weird alien technology that I'm not familiar with, you cannot make power with a solar panel at night. It's not like those infinite energy troll gags or whatever. But I digress. I've also been told, hey, you don't need storage for bananas because they're going to eat them. Well, that's fine because we does no harm to just have the storage here anyway. But I'm going to build, if I can remember where the greenhouse actually is. There we go. I'm going to build another one of these. 69. Why does this have the option to build inside? I'm not building the other one. But we have 141 glass panels. We have, well, everything else. And we can have a second greenhouse. We can have more bananas because the beavers apparently like bananas. So that's fine. We'll just plant those, let them do that, and move on to the next. So, I know it took a long time going through all of those different workplaces to try and see what can be organized, but a couple of you did ask specifically and very emphatically for me to do that. So, probably was a good idea to get that done. Next thing we got to take care of is a better bad water solution. Like right here, the small bad water pump is really not doing any favors here. We are in mighty need of a better solution. And there's really not a lot of great places here to do this. But I think the best option long-term is going to be to build this large one, even though it requires power. It's going to be better because in an hour it can make, what, 33? 33 bad water versus in an hour this one can make 3. That would remove the ability of these guys to have to come and do this. This pile of iron ore does not need to be here. So I'm thinking the best way, especially since this is a drought, go ahead. Just get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Except I need them to actually come and grab the garbage off the ground. Just get rid of all this. Preemptively, since we're not getting iron out of here. Preemptively get rid of this. And then how this is going to work is this guy is going to go down at the bottom, and then we're going to have to put a watertight building on top to prevent the beavers who go into this from getting infected. Hopefully. I'm like 90% sure that should work. We will just need to hopefully just blast out a little bit more here to get this to work. So that one will go that way. Then I might as well go ahead and put a double right there. This will get submerged pretty much only during a normal tide or a bad tide, not during a drought. But that's fine because it's going to make so much more bad water, it's not going to even be a problem at all. So this can now get removed. This can get blasted. And we can go ahead and start constructing. We'll do the research, of course. Start constructing this. That still leaves plenty of room for bad water to get around this side. Or if we really wanted to cause some water flow problems, we could just, you know, build up right next to the land here and then it goes all the way around this side. But I think it's fine. I think we're going to be okay. The reason that this gets placed right here is because we have to have the ability to go downstairs, so to speak, and then we can put a 2-story triple watertight lodge right on top of it. That will stop the hole from filling up with bad water and also be an accessible lodging for some beavers. We just need this to get finished. And then regarding the brain-stimulating mushrooms, I'm pretty sure that the GMO growing lab does not build them, which it does not. And I don't think there's another structure we currently have access to that can do it. Maybe some of these other ones might be able to, but right now we don't have access to those, so... Yeah, just going through. I see the stimulation juice, whatever that's actually kind of cursed. Whatever the thing is called, brain stimulating fluid test tube beaker nonsense. Test tubes and beakers are separate. Look, I know. It's been a very long time, but I do remember my basic lab safety. So it was drilled into my mind in the 7th grade. We'll put 2 of these like so. And yes, I know it has to be powered. The input's right there. We just need to bring over the actual power shaft, which is not going to be a problem. All we've got to do is just place it down in the water and bring it around underneath this, and then couple to this mess, of course. So we shouldn't have any problem building this without sending somebody down into the water. In the interest of actually building other stuff over here, if we have to, I will just put this in like so. Go ahead and put that in just in case. And take a look down here, make sure I don't screw anything else up. Come on, come on, aim, thank you. Then we will have to have this connect probably right about here. This will be nice and easy to build. They can get on it whenever they feel so inclined. Since we are in a drought anyway, now is the time. Go ahead and put in... Oh, they're not going to be able to reach that. Oh, well, I'll just get rid of it because... What do you mean they can't reach this? Seriously? All right, well, we'll just take this out. That's fine. This universal power shaft can then get turned into a vertical up here. Unless I do the wrong click. There we go. And then this is going to have to be, because of where this is, going to have to be a universal power shaft. And then that one could just turn into a regular as soon as they build the rest of this. And that will power this thing right here and power this thing right here. But, wait, there's more. Since we're in a drought, and we might as well save the power anyway, let's go ahead and make the provisions for the tourism center, which require us to remove all of this mess. And then, can I get around this? No, I cannot. All right, well, it's fine. We can rebuild this. We have the technology. Just get rid of all these things. This has got to get blasted out. Just this one slot right here has to get blasted out. And then we go into the advanced buildings. Tourism Center, unlock. It runs on Firefly Juice. Lag. And it goes in, I believe... No, I might have actually had it correct. Yeah, come on. Oh, this is so hard to place. Alright, let's pause this so I can actually move items without things lagging out. It almost got in there. Come on. One of these was actually going to work. It was working before. Ah, there we go. Alright, so what that does is that expands Abyss Tourism, whatever, and puts our power connector right here. That's the only reason we've done it like this. Because you kind of have to do it like this. No more space for gears. I'm also not going to make them go get that, so goodbye. They can if they choose to, but I'm going to make them choose not to. Alright, this can be a straight to vertical, which I have to make sure is facing the correct way. Power connection's blocked. What do you mean it's blocked? It's very, very easily accessible right here. Anyway, that becomes a straight. That becomes a straight. That becomes a straight. Nothing else is going to go on top of this. But it could. I'm pretty sure if we really wanted to. Let's actually see. I know this isn't a building that requires power, but... Oh! Never mind. That's a solid... Alright. So I was mistaken. That's never happened before. Clearly that was not going to work, and I just did a stupid here. But what I'm going to do, so we can actually, you know, walk around this, we have the technology, we have the ability to make this work, so we might as well just go ahead and, come on, lag. Build all this around at the same time. I don't think it's going to let me get away with this, but I did want to try. No, that's not going to work. Okay. So what will have to happen here, if we want to still be able to get around stuff... Actually, no. I lied. I'm not gonna make him do that. But I will be able to build all of the rest of this before stuff gets super crazy. This is waiting on... Oh, do I not have ruins exploration? Oh, did I? Yes, I did. That's a problem. Because I need 100 and I only had 94. Why in the world did I only have 94? And I can't get any unless this is... Alright, this is pissing me off. That's annoying. That is super annoying. Super, 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 ultra rage-inducing annoying. Oh well. I gotta build this garbage again anyway. What a waste. What a waste. I'm not gonna have not gonna have space. I got 40 here. If I'm gonna have this, this is making... Actually, no, both of them were making human relics. Well, I just have to turn this back on. Oh, that's gonna make me so mad. It's just stuff is... The way that it distributes debris when you delete something in here is extremely rage-inducing. But what am I even gonna do about it? In order to gather all this garbage, I'm gonna have to make sure that they can actually get into all this stuff. Oh well, it is what it is. This is at the very least connected. We're gonna have to maybe hold off on the rest of this for a little bit, but... Scaffolding. power shaft. They can't reach it because they have nothing to stand on, but I'm pretty sure they can walk on the vertical power shaft. If not, then we'll figure that out. Okay, this is also going to have a walkway, just so they can walk on top of this. There we go. If I put these on here, then they will be able to work. I can just take care of this. So let's leave that alone for a little bit. As a reminder, this is connected, but there's nobody working because we're out of workers. Surprise, surprise. Oh, these got built. Good. So, of course, there's nobody working here, but it does have the lemonade storage, which means I can finally take a couple of these out. I just don't know exactly how this is going to work here. I'm gonna go... Well, we already filled it up, so I'll just tell these to empty. But I'm going to put more clinics over here. I have a nursing license. I think they were going to be working on another one too, but waiting on basic balm. That's going to take 800 years. The idea behind having multiple clinics is so that they can all make all the parts at the same time. But we need to take care of our beavers who are not working. This has still got 49 out of 50 beavers working. That's good. This is emptied out massively. No ill effects on our cabbage supply so far. And our green peas are the same way. There's still plenty that haven't been harvested. I need to make concessions for additional towers of these things. So that is a thing that's going to take a little bit of time because we have to come in here with ladders to get rid of these trees. I'm just going to have them marked for demolishment. Demolishment's not a word. Yes, it is. Who says so? I says so. That means it's true. Anyway, this farm upgrade house thing, whatever, can go away. Now there's cabbages and green peas in there. They will figure out what to do with those. I'm not concerned about it. Now we have more space over here. This is perfectly sized to put another stack of these towers. We should be building the mega platforms if we want to take ourselves seriously. So let's see exactly how this is going to end up looking once we get there. This not going to have to worry about. In the interest of actually, you know, getting up here to blow stuff up, gonna have to make ourselves a little access way here. And instead of doing something completely stupid, I'm going to do something that's just a little stupid. Come on, stairs. This land that I am building that ladder on does not need to be exploded. So that's going to work in our favor here. This can get connected. And now all we have to do is just start moving stuff. Now, the dynamite situation and the nitroglycerin situation is not going to allow us to do all of this at once. But we do need to, you know, just chip away at it for a period of time. You know what I should not have done is I should not have gotten rid of those ladders because I cannot reach anywhere else with this. So back they go. I know. I know. I'm just going to, for the sake of my personal sanity, just do that. That's the only one of those that has to get eliminated. This tree is going to be removed, and then it can be tripled, although I'm not going to use 4 nitroglycerins to do it. We'll just have to keep our eyes peeled on that. We're going to run into an issue here because we can't get into this space. So, unfortunately, there is going to have to be a little bit of shenanigans occurring here with an overhang walkway to take care of these. But it will be something that can be accomplished. We just have to do this bit first. Alright. Again, food problems, non-existent. The amount of green peas is going to probably go down a little bit. But when we put additional stacks of these farms in here, it probably is not going to be an issue. Just got to make sure we're keeping our eyes peeled for other problems. We've got 55% of the way to getting more pine resin. Pine resin, of course, went to construct these things that can hold lemonade. These medium tanks are going to be slowly emptied as beavers drink the lemonade, which they probably don't need to have that much lemonade anyway. It's fine. I did not build... That wasn't even the right one to click on. Did not build a cooking house for this other thing. Is this even connected power-wise? No, because I failed to get this put back in. Okay. Build this immediately. Because I need to have more exploration points. Because if I have exploration points, I can build the rest of the stuff here. I just cannot believe I forgot that I needed to have 100 of those. Okay, that's going to allow us to get all the way around to get this garbage. I think we're probably fine. Yeah, let's leave that alone. We have our other banana trees, which is cool. These are marked for cutting, so that works. I can put a couple more of these in if we really wanted to. I can leave that alone. Our high temperature foundry probably doesn't need to be making glass anymore, although it currently is making glass, and we do have a little bit of space left, so I guess that's fine. We should be making scrap metal. Everything else we're looking good on. So I will let this finish its couple panes of glass. And then I'm going to put this back on scrap metal mode. Because that was a huge problem that we had. We weren't utilizing our buildings correctly. And there we go. So that can just kind of be left to its own devices for some amount of time. This continues to get cleared. Still need plenty more sunflower seeds. I think we're going to need more storage for the sunflower oil itself. But that is going to be a problem we'll get to not right now. So that one's going to go there. Oh, the clicking is so slow. Ooh, lag. The big question. Can I... The answer is probably no. Yeah, the answer is definitely no. I cannot put a dynamite here. But we will at some point be able to. In fact, what I'll do is I'll blast these two out, and then I'll put the overhang back in, because then I'll be able to do it. That shouldn't be a problem. So that can go away. That can go away. That can go away. And that can go away. So they can reach that from the ground. Making progress. Very slowly. They can't reach this one yet because this thing's not in. But as soon as this one's put in, we'll be good to go. Yeah, cabbage and green pea numbers are beginning to dip slightly. But I don't think it's going to be a problem because we're going to duplicate our, what do you call them things? These. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, this is still... Oh, okay, there's still cabbages and green peas on the ground, so that's just aggressively not an issue whatsoever. While we're at it, I could get rid of these two little bits of land here, but I would like to try and keep stuff loosely organized, if at all possible. If this isn't farming up here, we don't need this to have a super fertilizing irrigation tower bath, but I think we're going to end up growing trees. Which, in fact... You know what? Let's leave a little bit of space here, but I think we're going to want to plant... Go ahead and plant the pine trees. This is 1, 2, 3... In case we need that third bit of space, then I'll leave that. But the rest of this, at least right here, definitely could use one. The forester is a temporary building because we don't need it to grow anything else after they've been planted. Then we will just need a tapper's shack. And this can support upgrades if we so choose, but those things make my brain spontaneously combust, so probably not going to use them. Putting this here probably not the best place for it to go, but it would actually kind of make sense here. Assuming all of this was going to be pine trees, and it's kind of out of the way. Plus, it's a little more centralized to the rest of what we're working on. That should be fine. And that will also allow us to put in a big storage of pine resin somewhere. Of course, nobody's working here. But now they are. Plant all those pine trees. Let's go. It's not marked for cutting. That's fine. Get all this other stuff taken care of. This can be blasted. This can be blasted. There we go. And once this is taken care of, then I can just blast all of these from this ladder. But I still have to be able to... Actually, no, you know what? We just go ahead and do it. No reason not to. As far as I can tell. Should be okay. Alright, what other problems have I been very slowly ignoring this whole time? Well, actually, we've already accomplished a huge goal for this episode, just reprioritizing buildings so that the haulers can do their hauler stuff. And getting this situated, now I have plenty of exploration points. I got 40 here, 40 here. I've got stuff on the ground. This guy is supposed to be... pencil sets. Pencil sets! Oh, God, I forgot about pencil sets. Where am I making pencil sets? Not there. Not there. Is that at the... I can't ever remember what building makes this stuff. Not that one. I always thought it was the Handicrafters. Oh, it is the Handicrafters Lodge. I'm just dumb. So that needs clay, coal, paper, pine resin. Yep. That's probably your problem right there, is all the pine resin we don't have. Well, at least they're planting more now. That's something. The demolition continues. We might actually have enough to make this work. It might be close, but I would like to start doing that if at all possible. Okay, so I can have the path continue this way. I'm not going to flip these because I never flip them. The doorway is on the second tile, so that's actually... yeah, that's fine there. Which would be really interesting if this lined up nicely like this. I think it will. Then all I've got to do is have the power get connected, which will not be difficult at all. Just have to bring it over. Ah, there's going to be a ladder in the way. So, maybe we will flip this one. Maybe we'll flip it so I can just have the ladder on the outside, because I'm not going to connect them anyway. That, I think, will work out just fine. Except I'm going to need to be careful. Probably should also stop mumbling to myself while I'm recording videos, because then people get confused. It's fine. Yeah, cabbage and... Well, actually, no, the green pea numbers haven't gone down. The cabbage numbers have. We'll fix it. Don't worry. Get everything taken care of. It's going to be fine. This is operating once again. How many of these? Still says I have 40 because we're waiting on pencil sets. The pencil sets are waiting on pine resin. But thankfully these are getting pine resin again. I need to unmark these for cutting, although I don't think they can get cut anyway. Should be fine. This one's empty, which means it goes away. This one's 2/3 empty. When these are gone, I'm going to build another clinic here. Which, actually, I don't need this lemon storage either. I could just go ahead and build a clinic right here. And probably be fine. This Warm storage hand of soup probably does not need to be here, but it is what it is. I'll get rid of that one berry bush. It's going to be... Wow, we have 1,000 berries? How did that happen? We had like none. Okay, well then I definitely don't feel bad about getting rid of this. What's under well-being? Yes, clinic. Away you go. This one's making the surgery kit. This one is going to make the frost balm, because we have a lot of burns. And we'll just have to, you know, come back and check on that at some point. Alright. More dynamite. Even more dynamite. Just let that do what it's going to do. I believe I'm going to have to go one more over for my power shaft. This is a universal, so that's fine. We'll do straights here. And then, probably strictly speaking, doesn't have to be universal, but I'm going to make it universal anyway, so we don't have any problems. That should... Yeah, that should work out perfectly. This one can just be straight, and then another universal. Although it doesn't have to be universal. It can just be a straight to vertical. I did build these as universals, though, but I ended up not needing to use them, so we'll just build the thing that's a little bit cheaper. Now, I know it's going to take a long time to construct a whole additional stack of these, because we're going to need to use the firefly juice, glowing fluid, to build these mega platforms. And then, of course, each of these clockwork hydroponic farms have their own requirements to get constructed. But we're going to be in really good shape just as soon as we can get the rest of this stuff built. And depending on how I put this in, I might actually be able to... Our storage is slightly different. See, if I hadn't flipped these... You know what? Maybe I don't want to mess with it. Because it was working just fine. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna leave this. Just gonna leave this as it was. If I had put the ladder here, then I was gonna be able to. I can't even remember what words I was gonna say. That's scary. This thing on the left, ladder, right here. I was going to have this in the same spot, which would be this power shaft, which would mean I would have a ladder here, which would mean I could put another stack of these large warehouses, so on and so forth. But I couldn't have done it the same way because they wouldn't have lined up right. So ignore what I said, and instead we're going to do the same stack just right here. I think it should be perfectly fine. I don't think we're going to need more than 6 of these screw presses for the other stuff, so I can start the very bottom of this next stack with a large warehouse facing this way. I don't think that would be a bad choice. Unless... Ooh, hold on. Liquid store... Oh, okay, that's not the right dimensions. I was about to say the liquid storage house I could put, if it was a 3x3, which it's not, I could put that there. But... we got plenty of stuff to worry about that isn't that, so let's just keep on rolling. Yeah, now that I'm going to fully commit to this, yeah, let's just continue building absurdly tall stacks of garbage here. That was the... I think that's going to be fine. Bridges, 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 bridges. Remember that these suspension bridges here are so we can continue building where we need to be building. The ladder is going to only go up 2 before they can't build anymore without outside help. Alright, I'm just going to say, you know what? Double dynamite. I don't want to wait anymore. So that will take care of that. And then we're going to want to do the same thing over here. And that's going to be its own process, but I don't think that's going to be a project for today. It'll be for next time. Do you like these big, tall, ugly towers? They are ugly, but they're also big and tall. So maybe they're good for that reason. Ah, nobody's working here. Okay, I need to make sure that I've got all these pine trees planted. That's actually super important. This is making... Okay, it's making grapes. I have plenty of robot parts. I'm going to need a lot, and I have 122. It's 10 per clockwork hydroponic farm. And each of those takes a certain quantity of water. I think it's usually like 1,000, 2,000. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,500, 3,000 for the lotus farm. And then we can also make Everblossom farms, which I imagine is going to be maybe not this stack, but the other one. So right now, we definitely need to get some more cabbages, and maybe... I might do one more cabbage, one more green pea one, and just call it a day on that. Rice-wise, we are... Wow, we got a lot of rice. So did all this stuff just catch up because we fixed our hauler problem? Or did we have other stuff that we were taking... Yeah, just look at all the plucked lotuses now, too. Lotus flowers should be going in to make lotus tea. Which... Yeah, you know what? We have so many haulers, I'm just going to prioritize these. A couple people have been theorizing. Again, everyone has a different opinion about how haulers work, and as far as I can tell, nobody's right. Everyone is right, and everyone is wrong at the exact same time. I literally don't know how to explain it, but one of the theories was that nothing should be prioritized except storage. But considering I don't really have storage for everything, might as well just prioritize production, and they'll take care of it. It'll get figured out. Alright, that is taken care of. Get rid of that overhang, and I'm going to start... What's this one on the bottom here? Sunflowers. You know, we probably still need to have another one of those, so... I'm kind of tempted to just copy the stack that I had down here in the first place. Remember, we are flip-flopping right here. So that goes, hopefully, the correct place. Where's my... There it is, okay. So that'll go there. Mega platform, right there. The second one is more sunflowers, which I know we're going to probably still need, so... This is still flipped, right? Okay, good. Are they going to be able to build all this at the exact same time? No. Am I going to make them do it anyway? Probably. Cabbages, cabbages. Different building, different flip. I just want to make sure this is all queued up so we don't have any surprises later. And this actually, they can build from above or below, so that's going to work out really, really well. But this will take care of that up to this point. Nenifars. We have so many plucked lotuses now, but we can't pluck any more apart after they're plucked lotuses into double plucked lotuses, or whatever the correct term is, because all these lotus flowers are not being used. So we're going to need to have some sort of storage for lotus flowers in this general area, and I believe corner overhang walkway. Where can I make this thing attach? If this works, then there's no reason for it not to, but I'm very curious. Yeah, buddy, let's go. That's going to be lotus flower storage, because these are making tea. And we need to have more lotus flower storage anyway. So lotus flower tea also needs a place for it to go. And probably... I mean, I can't bury another tank over here, so it's going to need to be just a medium tank, probably right about here. I'm going to flip it so that I can put another thing in front of it. And that is lotus flower tea set to supply. And all of these pine trees are growing, or being planted, so that's good progress there. The mega platform is actually done before the thing that goes under it, which is interesting. Screw press axles. our eternal problem. One of these was supposed to be, is making gears. Well, now it's making screw press axles. So that solves that problem. How many points do I have? None, because we're waiting on pencil sets. Pencil sets, pencil sets, pencil sets. My kingdom for pencil sets. Where are we? Yep, fine resin. Because we don't have materials. I don't know if I need to prioritize by haulers or not. We probably still need more haulers after all that. Almost certain we're going to need more haulers. What is this waiting on? Pine resin! Who'd have thunk it? Got a little bit more here. You know what? I'm just gonna say, hey, let's pine resin all of this. Every last scrap of land here can be pine resin. And seeing how this is faring, I can probably get rid of all these sunflowers up here too, but I'm not gonna do that quite yet. They're building the platforms faster than they're building anything else. That's actually kind of funny. But it's good to do that because the giant logs do need to be used so we can cut these down. And yes, I did mark all of the giant sequoias for cutting. And yes, there is actually space for some more up here. But I don't think I want to plant any more at this exact moment until I'm 100% sure. You know what? These take so long to build. I might as well, because this is the only space I'm going to get. Might as well go ahead and plant here, here, here. I know they can't plant this one yet until this land is in place, but it's not there yet, so that's fine. I am just... Man, these pencil sets are killing me. And I can't do any more until I have pine resin, so... All of you who have been clamoring for more pine trees, you're welcome. They're working on it. They're doing their best. And of course, waiting on tools is also its own problem. I really should be building more of these. This one is waiting on really scrap metal. Is the holdup? We have 600 of it. What's going on with that? I guess the prioritization is not up to par. We already knew that was doing pine resin. But 1,600 berries, I guess maybe it was just the problem with hauling. Solved so many other things as soon as we took care of it, which... Go ahead, you can I told me so, I told you so, me, about that. That's fine. I figured that was probably going to be the case, but sometimes you just don't know until you have to deal with it. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that solved almost all of our really pressing problems, with the exception of the minty bamboo shoots, which we just need to plant more bamboo. And that was something that I was thinking about doing down here. We can't automate pumpkins, but we have so many pumpkins that aren't harvested up here that I don't think it's going to be an issue. We can probably get rid of this whole mess down here. Depth-wise, I'm actually not sure if it's going to kill the bamboo to have it be down in water too far. I think it's probably fine. So I could put one there, one there, one there, one there. Oh, this is almost perfect right here. Okay, okay. Well, that's good to keep an eye on for later. Just make sure we're all good. We're not going to chop down those trees. That's fine. This stack right here, when we get around to it, is probably going to be entirely Everblossoms. But again, it's going to take some time to get that in place. Don't expect that to be immediate. Right now, I'm just happy we're able to put this other thing in here. So that was sunflowers, cabbage. This one's lotuses. I don't think we're going to need another stack of lotuses. Or nenuphars, whatever. Green pea farm. Rice and rice. So, obviously this isn't built yet. But I'm kind of tempted to just say we might not need it, but we'll build it anyway, because the consumption of nenuphars is probably only going to increase. I'll just duplicate this whole thing. But we are going to run out of the giant logs. Even though they can cut these, why are they not cutting these? So we have the feller here, and we have log storage that's not being utilized. So I wonder what the issue is with that. So I know this is marked for cutting. I feel like I'm going insane because I have to keep checking, but it is marked. That is not a problem. In fact, I need to go ahead and mark all this for cutting, just so we're one more step ahead. That's doing okay. Have I managed to make any more? No. Ruins exploration. Pencil sets. Okay, well, that'll actually get us 12 more, which is, in theory, enough to build the Abyss Tourism Center. In theory. So now I got 12 more. It should say 52. I was only short, like, it was less than 10, I'm pretty sure. So, maybe a mistake, but we're gonna do it anyway. Okay, Tourism Center. Alright, get yourself in here. Come on. Please. There we go. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I want to make sure I can build this before I use all of the rest of my glowing fluid to build the rest of the mega platforms. Yeah, here we go, folks. That is really going to help our well-being also, which is going to help everything else because then it makes the beavers walk faster and work faster and live longer and all sorts of other fun stuff. All that being said, we still are down 93 employment spots being filled, which is probably not the correct way to word that, but what do you mean you can't get all the required materials? I swear, if I have to delete this again... What? You can't be serious. You cannot be serious. I had 92 last time, and I got 12 more. Where did the other 10 go? Really? Really? No. No. No, that cannot possibly be true. Is there, like, anything that's hiding somewhere else on the ground or whatever? Because, man, I don't want to do this again. Like, I'm not going insane, right? There's no possible way. No possible way. Whatever. It's pissing me off. Stupid thing. God. Curse you. What a pain in the butt. So now this needs the tools to be working. I don't have tools because I don't have... For some reason, the scrap metal is not being brought over here. Well, I guess now it kind of is. Oh well. Just gotta leave it to do what it's gonna do, I suppose. Ah, it can't plant any more pine trees over here. Well... In that case, I'm gonna just say that's that. I'm gonna unplant these because we're gonna have storage anyway, right? So, crate storage house holds 288. Hey, look at that. That's actually a smart thing for us to build right here. And the storage for the crate storage house is going to be storing the storage of pine resin. There we go. Then I've got a couple of spots here on the end if I choose to do something there. Is this going to get the tools? Or where are the tools going? I guess I should have checked. Oh well, everything else is fine. I still didn't build the cooking house to make the cereal bars. That, again, is something we probably should have already done. Well, most of the stuff that it needs... to make them is being made up here. So, this would not be a bad thing to put in this area here. That's not gonna quite work. that works as a levee, so it is a solid building, but then I couldn't put anything else underneath it. You know what? You know what? I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put it there. Because I think... That's the most dangerous thing, is that I think. If I put 2 of these, so it's a double stack, take that out, and instead put in some ladders. No, I did it again. I did it again. Wait, why is this dried out? Ah, that was a problem. Okay. Okay, that's going to get fixed immediately. Bloodgate. Bloodgate. Sheesh. You know, I was thinking to myself this whole time, like, man, it's going to be really stupid if I do this again, but... Oh, well. What are you going to do about it? Well, what am I going to do about it? Nothing. Alright. That's prioritized. Get in here. Dump all your stuff. We're going to have a bunch of rice die, but it's okay because I have 3,300. We might not need this. Never mind, it's coming back to life. We might not need this whole thing to be growing rice, but for right now, it's fine. If we no longer need to grow rice normally, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to blast this out 1 level deeper, and I'm going to put a bunch of these things in here. Now, we're going to bear witness to this. It says I have 40 ruins exploration points. I got 20 in here, and I got 20 in here. The rest of it's on the ground. So we have 40. Where's the rest? There's 14, so that's 54. There's 12, so that's 66. There's 6, so that's 72. There's another 7, so that's 79. Where's the rest? I already forgot which ones of these I've counted, but point being, there's enough. I know there's enough. I don't know what happened to the rest of it, but I know there is enough. There has to be. But now I'm going to be afraid to let this, you know, not make any more again. As soon as I have 5 more pencil sets, we can run this. Get another 12, which we saw it had 92 before, which should be 104, which means I should be able to build it. But I'm not going to trust it because it's already screwed me over multiple times. Alright, this is operating. Never mind, it is not operating. You know why it's not operating? Because somebody, not going to name names, somebody did not connect properly. They built a bunch of ladders, including this one with the thing on the wrong side. And now I can't get rid of it unless I get rid of all these ladders. Ah! Just remember, the common factor in all of your failures is you. Well, maybe not you. Maybe you're smart and I'm just dumb. But that is, yeah. Uh-huh. I love it when this happens, said absolutely nobody, but that is the way it goes. You just have to make sure this actually has a path through it. Alright, well, it happens. Well-being's up to 39. Thanks in absolutely 0 part to the tourism center that I can never seem to actually build. Pencil sets, once again, remain a problem. But, pine resin, hopefully, is solved after this, once these trees grow, which is going to take a long time. Now we have less... Oh, no, we have more incapacitated beavers. I thought I was going to solve all these problems. This is making... Ah, nobody's working here because we don't have enough beavers to keep destroying things that have places for beavers to live. So, honestly, we need another 100 beavers. But I've been very reluctant to continue building housing because, you know, it causes problems. But I think we're going to be at a point pretty soon where I'm going to need to just suck it up and keep on building beaver housing. I don't know, though, because we've kind of created a monster here. So now I don't have anywhere else to have them live without building giant dams that we don't need. Everything's being mechanized, which means a lot of these buildings that produce and house don't have a huge purpose anymore, which means I need probably to just keep building these things, but I don't need to have so many builder beavers, probably. I can't just sort by jobs, it's only by workplaces. So I guess this will give me an idea of who's got what boosts, but it doesn't. I mean, I can scroll and see this, but it's not a very easy all-in-one solution. That's a builder beaver, that's a builder. I wish I could sort by whatever the jobs were. That would be very convenient. But, okay, these are a whole bunch of kids. 46 beaver children. That's, well, it's less than 10%, which I guess is probably okay. I'm trying to figure out where and what I can build in terms of beaver housing that's not going to be completely insane. Because the pit and ladder lodges are great, but there's only so much that you can really do. Should I do another one with liquid storage? Maybe I don't want to do that. Anyway, I guess we're in such severe need of haulers that we should just build more of those. But I have to decide where I want my doorways to go out, because I was going to put storage in here and then on top of that go somewhere else, which I don't think would be hard. I just have to think about it a little bit. So obviously it's not going to let me do this, right? I can't put it on top of any of those, and I can't put it halfway down a wall, which means if I'm going to have something come up into something that's going here, it's got to be level with that, which I don't really have the ability to do. But I'm probably also just massively overthinking this. That will go there, that will go there. I just don't have an idea of what's going to need to be stored in this. Unless there is a specific type of food that I don't have a lot of storage for. Pumpkin chips probably could use a second one, but again, this is... yeah, it's already got a storage for pumpkin chips down here at the bottom. That's not being used. Cereal bars could probably use a bigger storage. Most of the rest of this food stuff is liquid. But I'm also not going to be making enough cereal bars, most likely, for that to be a problem. Wooden toys I can't make, but we will need at one point, so I guess I can just go ahead and make a storage for those. Coconuts don't have imported right now. What is this? Seashells. That's another handicrafter thing. Shell necklaces, another handicrafter thing. Pollution resistance factor is a great thing, but not going to need it, probably. Coffee we have to import. Comic books. All right, fine. I'll just put comic books here. But now my problem is going to be, how do I get across here? Unless I do something really dumb and I blast down to here and then I use a bridge to go across. And then ladders on top of the... all right, hold on. We got to go to the lab where I know they can't actually build this. Let's find out. Suspension bridge, 2x1. Can I put a... no way! There's no reason that should work. But it does. Alright. Okay, I see you. I see what you're doing. You're enabling bad decision-making is what you're doing. And I love you for it, so thank you. Let's first off... yeah. This is just heinous. What I'm attempting to do here should not be tolerated under any circumstances. But it's going to be tolerated, because it's going to work. This is so stupid. So dumb. Unbelievably dumb. Did we build all our platforms? We sure did. This is operating Clockwork hydroponic farm, but it's not connected by path because I didn't connect in the bottom. Okay. There we go. That hopefully connected. That, yes. So now that is operating for sunflowers. That is operating for sunflowers. This is soon going to be operating for cabbages, but it needs tools. This was for nenefars. Do I dare build another one? I think because these are on platforms, I could easily change these out at any time. I'm going to choose not to mess with that right now. And instead, gonna let me build this. Let me click. Let me click. Or does it have to have something underneath it? I guess it's not going to let me do that. Now, I know there's other options. We don't have to have only the clockwork farms in here. We can put some of these well-being items, which, you know what? I might as well just go ahead and do this. Just put it in here. Can I flip it? Yes. That one probably actually should have gone at the bottom. But hey, we can find a way to make this actually connect up here. It doesn't have to be a super stupid thing. But I just think it's funny to have, like, in the middle of this clockwork tower, hey, you want to go play French bocce ball? Well, not really. Well, too bad. Get over here. Now I can actually place this. Okay, so let's click on this again. Clockwork hydroponic farms. Oh, the greenhouse. Okay, hot nuclear press, exercise plaza, multi-purpose outdoor work. Well, that's a smarter thing to be putting in. Multi-purpose outdoor workspaces, but I probably need to be building at least one more green pea farm. One more. I think is going to probably do it for that. Then rice, I do not think is going to be a problem, so maybe we'll just do multi-purpose outdoor workspaces. Because those can make... Well, we're having no problem making berries, but they can also make... Wowee. Yeah, okay. That's the other building that can make the brain-stimulating mushrooms. I am absolutely certain at least one or two of you have already left a comment telling me this, but... That's a game changer. That's good. That's very good. You know what? Let's do that. Multi-purpose outdoor workspace. So the rice is no longer an issue. Oh, I didn't put a platform on top of this. There we go. See, look at us. We're getting so much good stuff done. We should have all of the materials for it, too. All right. This does not have to be powered, crucially. Which actually means... Okay, well, this is already working, so that's fine. Screw press axle recipe says what? Log. Okay. All right, thanks for that. Log. In 1 day, 20 hours, well, it's still faster. So, bad water... Well, okay, the multi-purpose outdoor workspace doesn't have to be powered. So, you know what? Well, I'm going to have logs easily accessible here anyway, so I guess that's fine. If I had better places over here to build these... Well, these are really flexible, so it just makes sense to have these and change them elsewhere. All right, how many... It still says 40 of these. Pencil sets. You are absolutely killing me, man. That doesn't make pencil sets. Okay, we're making pencil sets. Where are they going? Where are the pencil sets going? There is no reason for this. Like, it is completely insane that I still cannot put this Abyss Tourism Center in. Alright, let's count again. Left to right. There's nowhere else for this to go unless it is in the outside somehow. I don't think it is. They would have found it already. Alright, left to right. Nothing here. In this spot, nothing here. This spot, there are 14. This spot, there are 12. That is 26. There are 6. That's 32. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. And here there are 7. That is 39. And it says I have 40. Where's the rest of them? Where is the rest? Have I just completely lost my insert 4-letter word dictionary marbles? Seriously, what has happened to the rest of these? Now it says I have storage 52. I have 12 in the building and 40 in the storage. But it can hold more. Am I just going to have to build more and more and more and more and more scroll displays? Like, is that what's going to happen? Because it doesn't make any sense. This literally makes no sense. All of this just makes absolutely no sense. So if I put 4 of these in here, and I set them all to ruins exploration, which honestly probably is not a bad idea anyway, then watch it magically show up with more than 100. Like 150 or some garbage like that. That would actually probably cause me extreme pain. This is working here. There we go. And since we did our reconfiguring over here, yeah, this is already pretty much clean. That was very good. I'm glad we did that. Let it go a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I thought about putting one in here too, but the way that this is situated, I would have to come off of this corner, which I don't think would be super easy. Anyway, this is ready to go. Alright. Now it says I have 91. Where's the rest of them? I know there's more. I know there's more. Why are there only 91? We had 92 in storage. Where's the rest? 20, 11, 20, 0. I know there's more than 91. Unless every time I partially build it, it counts it as having consumed some of those. Which would be garbage, because I don't think anything else in the game does that. So, I know I've built additional factories that consume power without building additional power generation. However, I believe that we are going to be in perfectly fine shape because we're going to add some more power generation soon. We're not quite ready. Not quite ready, but we'll get there. We'll get there. This does not have a ladder. Did I not? I thought I put the ladder in. Or is it just not going to let me build one in front of the... No? It was going to have no problem doing that. What's up? What's up with that? Oh! Hey, you know how I said I wasn't going to build another stack of warehouses here because I didn't have a ladder? Well, now I got a ladder. Oh, I really ought to, you know, talk to myself about how I can let myself know stuff instead of just doing it. Oh man, another hour-and-a-half long video. Sheesh. What are we waiting on here? Really? We're waiting on planks? I thought this was supposed to be solving that. Yeah, okay, it takes 1 day. Well, alright, that's fine. That's fine. We can let that just do what it needs to do. Alright. Still only says 91. What happened to the rest of them? It's driving me absolutely insane. Although to build the tourism center, assuming it's just using this stuff, which would be stupid. I only need 100 of them. So one more of these recipe iterations here is going to give me another 12, so I'll have 103. And it's currently making them, so I guess... Man, why is this such a problem? It had to have just deleted those, because the math was right the first time. The first time we rebuilt the power shaft and had this go back, so I can only assume it has yeeted a third of those every single time, or something to that effect. I kind of want to wait for it to go to like 100 and 115, but I think we might have a problem with pencil sets. might have a problem with pencil sets. I didn't even add any housing either. That's what one of the things I was supposed to be doing was adding more housing, and I instead just massively, incredibly optimized all of our food stuff, which is good. But there's obviously still work that needs to be done. All right, what can I do about housing, man? Oh, I didn't finish these. All right, it is still incredibly funny that this allows this to work. Just objectively, like this, there's no reason this should be allowed. But it works. It just works. Alright, so that's going to go there. That's going to go there. And then, the other funny thing is I can do it again. I can do it again right here. So I could actually have another liquid storage. Which would solve the problem of lemonade storage a little bit better as well. Except now I have to find something else to put here. Do I really not have any pencil set storage? Okay, that's a bad spot for pencil sets to be pencil setted. Pencil sat? Pencil sets to be pencil sat. Yeah, that's a terrible spot for that. Cereal bars also don't really have a good place to go, but I don't need to have that many metal fasteners. I have plenty. Pine resin has tons. Scaffoldings don't have tons. Tools have none, but this is not a good place for tools. Unless you are a tool. And I guess you could live there. Where else could I possibly store food that I actually need to store food? Alright, one more pumpkin chips is probably not going to hurt anybody. And one more rice balls isn't going to hurt anybody. We just have to make more of those. So, what's going to happen now is I'm just going to build another set of liquid storage. This is a cool building. And it's going to be for lemonade. Which is going to allow these tanks, although I probably should have some. These are in stupid locations, so I'm going to choose to just not do that. Set these to empty. We can probably build a giant tank for lemonade at some point. Mushroom juice probably needs to have a dedicated storage somewhere. But that's being produced all the way over here. Yes. So that is going to need sunflower oil, water. Oh, this one doesn't need to be making sunflower oil. It can be making mushroom juice. But sunflower oil is needed for stuff to work over here. So you know what? We're just going to let it be what it needs to be. This is lotus flowers. Okay, that can be obtained. And then this right here. Logs, lotus flowers, water. Lotus flower tea. Why is it I used a green highlighter to highlight the same place I used a yellow highlighter colored? Do people even use highlighters anymore? Alright, I have 103 runes exploration. I remember I had to buy those every single year for school supplies. It's like, how many highlighters are you using? Still no pencil sets. Sheesh. I'm just so afraid to try and build this again without another set of 12. It's been a disaster every single time. Alright, food-wise, taking a look at everything else. The green peas and the cabbages have continued to decline, but not steeply, which means I think we're probably going to be pretty good with what I've already put in. Pumpkin chips have massively declined, and that is because why? None of these are pumpkin chips. There we go. Oh, because there's nobody working in the cooking tent. But it can make them without workers, so maybe it's just a throughput issue, because 3 hours for 55. Probably should have another one of these. Did I actually... Okay, this needs to be making cereal bars. I did not tell it to make cereal bars. That's the problem. That's the problem. Okay. Because then what I was going to do is I was going to tell the one that's making cereal bars down here that it needs to be making pumpkin chips. There we go. That should help solve a whole lot of problems. It is, again, still objectively hilarious that it allows me to place the bridge and then also the ladders. But, you know, well, that's also the same exploit. It's not really an exploit. It's a design feature, but Coming from the base game, it definitely would never allow you to do this. This is the only reason you can build the ladders like this in this mod. So I guess, you know, this really isn't an exploit so much as it is just a really, really great quality of life feature that is so good it feels like it's broken. That's not where that's supposed to go. There we go. Right here, right here. We can have 2 more big storages here, or I can... Yeah, well, there's not really anything else that size that will fit unless I do storage piles. You know what probably would have been smart was to, instead of doing this here, because I can have the bridges just continually go across, I could have the industrial piles if I had something that needed to go in industrial piles. For the purpose of, you know, these beavers just existing, they don't really need anything else like that. Now, planks have become a hot commodity, so what is the reason for that? It's because you're using planks. Yes, thank you. We are clogged up with sawdust. We're not using enough sawdust, I think is the problem. So, I guess, and I know we could have the gigantic storage for other stuff, but I think we could probably just stand to have a little bit more slush space for sawdust. That's almost certainly what's causing stuff, but I had so many problems with sawdust before, like I never had enough, so what's up with that? This is supposed to be, oh, okay, no, it's full. The mushrooms aren't being used quick enough, so we don't need more sawdust for that. Alright, well, that's a process, I suppose. This tapper shack. Wait, why can't it reach? Okay. That doesn't make any sense. I specifically put this in with the intent of it being able to reach over here, but well, whatever. So if that's going to be the deal, what I need to do is I need to flip-flop these. Yeah. I know, another thing to drive you guys insane, but it's going to be fine. Tapper's shack. Now it has range. And then there's a house that is also storage. Which is here. Create storage house. That is for this. So what's going to happen is now I'm going to unplant all of this with exception of this last edge. And then these spaces will just naturally fill in. I do not want to build another forester that would take entirely too long. Hopefully that solves other problems. How many do I have? 103. Still 103. Seriously? Pencil sets, man. Come on. It's the pine resin. But we have pine resin. There is enough pine resin to make so many pencil sets. It's just not being allocated here. These guys, well, I guess Michelle Tipton, the single worker here, had no problems getting everything else. It's just the pine resin was an issue. But now there's enough to make a couple more, so I think we're going to be okay. Sheesh. What an ordeal, huh? Well, at the very least, we've accomplished most of the goals that I immediately prioritized for this episode. Reallocation of workers. It's not perfect, but it's a whole lot better. We put the cereal bars in the small cookhouse. We've heavily optimized that whole thing. We built a little bit more housing, not a ton, but a little bit more. And we have, hopefully, by the time this episode is done, acquired another 12 ruins exploration points or whatever that thing's called, and then we'll finally be able to build the tourism center. I don't know why it's been such a huge stinking problem to get it done, but that's just the way it goes. So, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll do our end of episode little bit here, and then hopefully by the end, the last thing we'll do is put in the Abyss Tourism Center and call it a day. But I appreciate your support in this series. It's a lot. It is quite overwhelming at times, even as much time as I've spent playing it. But you guys do a very good job of helping shall we say, correct what I've done wrong. No, you guys are good about stuff. And I know it's frustrating to see solutions that are super simple in your opinion that I just, for whatever reason, never find out. So I could not do without your help. Beard Boosters, also, you know the drill. Your support makes it possible for the channel to keep going without having to bow to advertisers of garbage nobody wants or needs. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The only sponsors, unless something cataclysmic occurs and I am going to have to submit myself fully to the horrors of venture capitalist money to survive, the only sponsors I ever want to take on this channel are people who make games, good games, that we already want to play. So hopefully I never have to do anything else besides that. But seriously, the Beard Boosters do make it a whole lot easier to focus on just playing the games and not trying to chase the algorithm, which I sincerely do not believe ends up making better content when you have to do that. Now, you could also say that this is not great because I don't fully understand what I'm doing, but I think authenticity is important, and I'm always going to try to stand by that. And you guys make it possible, so I really, really appreciate the support in that regard. Now that I've finished babbling, let's see, how close are we to getting... They don't even have the pencil sets up here. This also isn't prioritized, which probably was a mistake, but I want to have another 12 ruins exploration points before I try this again, or I'm going to lose my mind. So, next day for the beavers, we'll get it done. I will fast forward until that point and building all of the other stuff, and then that's going to be it. So, whatever it is you're doing at the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we will see you back again soon for more water beavers, more Satisfactory, more Roller Coaster Tycoon, and more other fun stuff coming up soon. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.